Hi guys, welcome to my top 5 Mega Drive / Genesis games of all time. Mega Drive. Well, this is a really tough system to go for. Again, I mean, I had it as a kid growing up. I mean, I was one of the, in a way, was I poor sap for getting the one of the consoles with Altered Beast. I mean, I actually quite like that game. It's a lot of people hate it, but I enjoyed it. What can I say? But yeah, what a console. But let's just jump straight into it before I start rambling madly. Number 5. This was a pure accident discovery for me at the time, and I'm so glad I played it as a kid because it was just brilliant. And it's Toe Jam and Earl. It was just the perfect 90s era game with the humour and the look of it, and it's almost like a cartoon, and the way the graphics were, and the different presents and the world you could explore. And I would just play this with a mate and we would just complete it over and over and over. We just loved it to bits, and going back to it recently, and it actually holds up really well. So yeah, it's a bloody brilliant game. It looks the part, but it's always one of them fond Mega Drive games I like going back to whenever I get a chance. But yeah, number 4. This was a bit of hard choices. When I think of shooters, this is the one I seem to always go for, and I think it's because of it uses. I like the whole history of style behind it. And it's very Greek, and it's Gynog. Yeah, basically a flying. It's like a Herculean hero, really, but with angelic wings on, flying through. I don't know what it is. But it's actually fairly difficult but enjoyable, and it's a lot of fun. Absolutely, the graphics are fantastic, and it still holds up really well to this day. And the weapons, the way everything interacts, and then the speed of it, and the soundtrack, and it's just, for me, it was always the perfect game to show off what the Mega Drive could do, and it was always a lot of fun. So you couldn't go wrong with it. Number 3. This was a tough one to choose, but this is more off personal experience, and it's Sonic 1. I could have gone for the 2 or possibly third one, but this was the one I saved up all my pennies for as a kid. I'd read the magazine reviews, and I'd heard all the excitement stuff at school, and then I got my hands on it, and it just blew me away. It was so fast and it looked so good. The Starlight Zone, whatever it was, the music for that was just so brilliant. And I remember at the time getting a Sonic vinyl which had the Star Song. What the hell was it called? The Sonic song. And the B-side track had that Starlight music on that had been remixed. Like, what was it? Lisa made something or other. I can't remember. Someone, if you remember the Sonic music that came out at the time, tell me below. But it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, what a mascot to come up with. They were trying for so long to come up with something like Mario, and then Sonic hit, and what a bomb. And it's just been downhill ever since, I'm afraid. Anyway, let's move on. Number 2, is this going to be a controversial one? Moonwalker, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. I love this game to bits. I got it as maybe my second Christmas with a system, and I just couldn't put it down. The music was just so good. As a kid at this point, I didn't really have much experience with Michael Jackson's music. It's not something I was really into or stuff like that, and I didn't really realise that most of the music in the game was just remixes of his tracks. But it was so good, and that film was so bad. And but the bits where you'd be walking along, and that music would just start playing, or you'd sling your hat at the enemies, he'd be dancing along, and then you hold down the attack button and he'd spin on the spot, and then everyone would just stop, and the music would kick in, and they'd all start dancing and then die. It was just brilliant, and there was so much. It's such a brilliant game. Like I said, the music was so perfect for it. The only level which was a bit dodgy, which I think was because of some weird licensing thing, was Thriller, because they did a graveyard but they weren't allowed to use the theme. I don't know why. Somebody else owned the rights at the time. Such is life. But it's a brilliant game. It really is a brilliant action adventure game, and it's not all the same thing throughout. You've even got a space battle at the end where he turns into a ship, and it's like an elite style fighter. Yeah, very odd, but a lot of fun. One I love going back to, and mostly because of the music and the awesome title screen. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, my top. This was a tough one, but Moonwalker almost pipped this. That's Streets of Rage 2. What a fighter! Absolutely, you know, scrolling beat 'em up. It's just fantastic. I love going back to this one. The music is just something else. It draws you into the world. And you feel awesome, and you're running around with Blaze and Alex, and I forget what the other guy's called, but all the characters just look great. The fighting's really fun. The levels are just the right length. It's just the perfect difficulty, and the music again. The music is so good. If there was ever I think there's been a vinyl version of Streets of Rage 1 released, but not 2. I might be wrong there. I'm going to go and double check that in a bit. But if so, I'm going to go and pick it up. But if I can ever get that on like record or something, I will do, because it was just absolutely fantastic. It always reminds me, in a way, of Castlevania 4. Well, it's a great the effect music in a game can have on you. You know, it brings back so many memories, and yeah, that's just one of them. Streets of Rage 2, awesome game. I always go back to that one. A lot of fun. Well guys, yeah, that's all of them. Like I say, there's so many to pick from. I'm sure people will disagree with me, but by all means stick them in the comments below, because I'd love to hear what you get, because the great thing is, if you do get any, I can go and play them. So yeah, pick away guys and let me know. As always, thanks for watching, and please look forward to another video soon.